Hey everyone, it's Michelle. How are y'all doing? Um, I hope that you can hear me because I decided to not use my camera so I didn't have any technical difficulties in the middle of the live. But anyway, I'm just going to talk a little bit, give you guys time to get here and see how everybody is doing. Whew, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Um, yep. Um, Oh, okay. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about um, some of the topics that I've been covering lately and do, I guess, some highlights of some of the things that I've covered on some of these podcasts. Lord, videos, videos, y'all, videos. And what I wanted to tell you is that the whole idea for doing what I put out this week was because I wanted to give people some totally free, but hopefully very useful and relevant and practical information for how to cope during crisis. And so that's why the videos that were posted this week were that. And I even had someone that said something about the videos this week being what they needed. So I'm really glad I'm scratching where you're itching. And y'all, don't forget, you can tell me if there's something that you want me to cover. If I'm capable and able to do it, I'll do it. Because this is about being highly useful to you. And so, yeah, I'm excited about continuing this brilliant quest. I am excited that you guys are watching and you're rocking with me. And I am excited because for this particular purpose in my life, I've been scared, but I've been doing it scared. And learning to get past the, well, what if they don't like me? Well, what if they don't show up? Well, what if they don't watch? And it does not matter. And it does not matter because I got all these notes on my desk, y'all. I'm not showing you my desk, but I got all these notes on my desk, and there was something in particular that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned, because if I'm going through this, I'm pretty sure you're going through this too, right? So yeah, here we go. I love following brilliant minds. I guess you can tell I just love the mind. I keep talking about it. I'm gonna continue to keep talking about it. Of course, I'll talk about some other stuff, but there's this one guy that I love to follow, and his name is Naval, and it's Ravikant, and he was the founder of Angel Investors. I think he's retired from there, but he puts out some wonderful things. He's a philosopher, and when I first started rocking with him, he became famous, if you will, outside of the Silicon Valley investor world because he put up a thread on X, which was at the time called Twitter, and it was called "How to Get Rich Without Being Lucky." And it was so spot on, concentrated, common sense that I was like, okay, I like this guy. And then when I started getting a chance to follow him a little bit more, it just became wonderful. So I'm saying this: if you love being inspired to have a jump off point by what someone else says, you will do well to go and follow Naval. And it's spelled Naval. Now, his last name is Ravikant, Ravikant. But if you just, look for Naval from Angel Investor or, whatever, after you get through going through all of the stuff for Naval, which is the military or the water, then you'll find him. But okay, so this is one of the things that he said that was so profound to me. And I was just like, whoa, this is deep. And I meditated on it. And then I saw another young man, Payne Common Sense, and it's Paine, Common Sense. And he had something to say that I meditated on too. But this is what I wanted, to really say first. And that was that Naval, he'll come with these little pithy statements. They're really impactful to, and they're, yes. Hey, Sydney, how you doing? Yes, go Navy. But this is what he said. And I don't know why it is when I get on here, my nose start itching and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, all right. Focus, Michelle. It's right here in front of you. This is what he said. They got me, to thinking. And he said that a person who needs to be happy will never be happy. That's what he said. And then he also said, a person who needs to be at peace will never be at peace. And that was a jumping off point for me. And the reason why I said that is because I have some, of course, I have some more videos coming out, and I've actually been debating. That's another reason why I wanted to go live, but I'll put a pin in there and come back to it. But I was working on some more videos, and I was working on the whole word called need. Now, there is this lady in the health and healing space, and her name is Byron Katie, and it's a girl, it's a lady. Her name is Byron Katie, and she has a powerful testimony where she overcame her debilitating clinical depression by dismantling that very word need. And so when I saw this, it reminded me of Byron Katie's testimony, where she got up out of the bed, she was able to reclaim her life and all this stuff, and based around that word need. Now, before I stop, y'all, I haven't gotten, all of the wonderful things that, you do to keep y'all engaged with the background. But are y'all liking the lighting? I was like, I'm coming with the lighting today. I hope the lighting is giving, because your girl out here trying to give. Okay. So shout out in the comments. Let me know. Because I was just like, yeah, it is a little boring. But anyway, need. Y'all get on this, because this has been changing my life anew. Now, when I first went through it, because at the time, this was like maybe about 15 years ago, Byron Katie was, teaching that you need to evaluate, and I just use the word need. You must evaluate how you throw that word around and how it really can dictate everything about you. And when I say everything about you, I'm talking about everything about you. When you get in the habit, or you allow the idea of need to drive you. And so this other young man, like I said, his name is, or his handle is at Pain Common Sense. And this is what these are my notes on what he said, but I'm just going to go through them a little bit for y'all. That's okay. It better be okay. All right. So basically, it's annihilate need in your pursuit, whether it be in your language or in your process. And that's my part. And so this is what he said. He said, need is the sense of lack, of scarcity, and of desperation. It's also a lack, now these are mine, of longing and lusting. And going back to what Byron Katie said all those years ago, she said what got her out of the bed was she finally realized that she didn't need money. She wanted money. She didn't need happiness. She wanted happiness. She didn't need most of the things that she thought she needed. She wanted them. She even talked about, she says, well, then I thought about, well, I need air. And she was like, do you really need air? Because, in her state of depression, she was like, no, I don't need air, because if I'm so depressed that I just want to take to the bed and never get out, I don't need it. So why do I want it? And then when she started flipping it from, we don't need things, we want them, her light bulbs went off about how need is this sucking vacuum that keeps us in this perpetual seeking position. Sid Arthur, and I don't know, well, There is a famous book called Siddhartha, and it is a biography of a Indian prince who leaves everything, and it's loosely based off of the life of Buddha. And Siddhartha is famous. One of his many quotes is that, and I wrote it down. Let me make sure I read it because I don't want to mess up Siddhartha. So it was about seeking, and when you try to seek for something, all you're going to ever get is seeking, because it is never about that. And oh, I remember now. He said, he was known for saying, if you continue to seek, you will never find. You must start switching over from seeking to finding. And that's the same thing with with needing. If you're always needing something, you're never going to have. So the need can be a firing off to let you know, oh, this is something I want. And then move quickly from the wanting to the being and the doing so that you can have it. Okay? And I mean, like I said, I really want to put this out here because I am never, now this is something I'm never going to do. I am never going to try to placate you. I'm never going to try to tell you the things that I think you want to hear from me, because that's not why I'm in this. And I even made notes about that. And it was a big revelation to me about, going back and remembering Byron Katie, Naval is saying it, and others are saying it, that we're currently in a time where we are learning to cope in crisis. And when you're trying to cope, you don't need the fluff. You don't need to be babied or placated. You need the potent, the real, the now. And the potent, the real, the now for right now, one of the biggest bangs for your buck, if you're thinking strategically and all this kind of stuff, is get out of seeking, get out of needing, get even out of wanting. It is now, this is about being, this is about action, because be do have is real. When you be, you can't do anything but produce instead of just consume. And that was one of the things I did, I noted that needing and the seeking are all about consuming so that you can get to a point where you can have something, you know. And I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, we all do it. It's not like I'm sitting high and looking low and telling you, oh, you just got to do this. No, we all going through it, boo. All of us. And success for how to live in whatever dispensation of time we're in will always leave clues. And one of them is, have you noticed recently? Let's just be real. Have you noticed recently that the more someone tells you something, the more it becomes real? And I'm not trying to come for the media or any of that kind of stuff, but the more stuff you consume, the more it becomes real in your life. Like, we've had enough time to see what reality TV does, and people who consume a lot of drama get more drama in their lives than they had prior to it. More people who consume a lot of crime, whether it be fiction or serialized, accounts, tend to start being involved or closer proximity to those very things. And so we got to be on it. And we can't let little things like need, trick us and get us to where, we want to just live our lives and not think that this is going to affect us. And so here, some of the things, like the big revelation that I have been having, especially like with doing this YouTube and things, because y'all, today is day number 47 that I have been, doing videos, and I was going to stop at 40. And I said, well, let me give myself another week, see how it goes and all of this kind of stuff. And I went back and I looked, through, did I do what I knew I needed to do? And that was, did I give enough reference materials for somebody who lands on this channel, who's hurting, who needs to get their mind right? Have I done enough to really give them at least a starting point? And I think I have. I hope I have. Um, have I given people a launching pad to be able to do something? That kind of thing. Hey, Miss Callie Coco, nice to have you, dear. Have I done those things? And I was like, yeah, I think I have. And then I put my previous podcast onto the channel as well. That gives even more. It's 410 episodes of 30 minutes, me going through wisdom and all of this kind of training as well. And I've actually been getting people sending me little messages saying thank you. I'm able to take this on the go. And I was like, oh wow, okay, great. And so it's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm very grateful for it. But this was my big revelation to do this. It wasn't so that I could say, I'm blogging or I'm doing videos every day until I reach this or that. And I know that's a very popular thing. I've got a sibling right now. Every day she is sending me stuff from other people who are doing that. I have a writing colleague who is doing a Medium article every day until she pays down her debt. And it is very tempting, but it is not in alignment with my revelation. And let me tell you what my revelation was. And I mentioned Naval because Naval helped me with this last week. And it said this. It said that the great and powerful are great and powerful. And that because that's who they be. And because that's who they be, you cannot motivate them. You can inspire them, but you can't motivate them. And y'all remember I did all those motivation videos where I talked about internal versus external motivation. I talked about how to get yourself to do stuff when you're unmotivated. You see, I was actually trying to make sure that I was doing my part to feed into the goodness of what it takes for motivation. And this was the part of it that I really liked. Okay, so I talked about the great and powerful are great and powerful. You can't really, motivate them. Now, this is the part where Naval comes in. He said, to motivate the masses, you give them money. To reward the great and powerful, you give them money. And I was like, oh, that's powerful, because you can't motivate the great and powerful with money. They're going to do what they do. Compensation is so that the masses will make themselves do what they are not inherently wanting to do. Now, you notice I didn't say that they're not great and powerful. I'm just saying that they don't recognize it yet. And so with the I'm doing something until blah, 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 blah is an external fixed mindset motivation, because what happens when you achieve that? Are you going to leave us high and dry? You've developed this routine, and when you get what you want, is it going to just be gone? Those types of things are the things. And I'm not saying that this is what the other people are doing. I'm saying for me. And so this was the other part that really, like resonating. I'm saying this because I'm hoping that maybe this is going to be a jump off for you, where you really get in there and you start realizing, annihilate need and seeking in your life. Get rid of want even, and be. And out of that being, be the adjective that you need. If you need to be strong right now, if you're tired and you need endurance, be that. And that's the internal motivation. Because remember, I talked about the 5 internal motivations. If you've been rocking with me, you know that there are curiosity, purpose, they are mastery, autonomy, and passion. And use those to continue to do what you do. Because I'm going to tell you, it's hard. Trust me. It is hard to do something when the newness is worn off. It is hard to do something when you don't see all the feedback, the accolades, the love, the whatevers. shout out to this person that sent me a DM on Instagram, and they said, I watched your video after I had watched another video on the same topic that got millions of views, and your video did way more than theirs. Now I know it's subjective, and I'll take that. And I did not go watch the other video, but it really let me know that if I personally was out here saying, I'm going to do this until I get monetized, I'm going to do this until I this, or I reach that, or whatever, I would be chasing the carrot. I would be, and it's sad when you the one putting the carrot up there. Has that happened to anybody but me? And it doesn't matter whether I feel like I'm talking in the void or not. But I really want to just, say pause, and one of these days I'm going to do something on propaganda and all this other stuff too. Yeah. But I want to, make sure I go with the foundations, and all that kind of stuff before we start moving out with that. And y'all should know, I'm looking at my notes here. Okay. But this is, like I said, this is another thing, that Naval was helping me with when I was, doing my musings and my writings about motivation, about why you do something, about how you can set yourself up to continuously be a seeker instead of a receiver and a person who gets what it is that you want from the beginning. And it said that you should do what you're doing for the sake of it, not for money, not for power, not for ambition. Freedom is from the demands of societal contracts and expectations. Do it because it needs to be done. It needs to have life. And when y'all know, this weekend I was taking a little break, and one of my guilty pleasures is anime. I know I love me some anime, because anime look like a cartoon, and they start off and you think, oh, this is cute, and then they go deep and you can't turn away. You like, so they go deep, right? And I was watching this anime, and in this particular one of the characters said these same exact thing. I kid you not. But his was kind of warped. Okay, so in this, y'all bear with me. Y'all got to listen to this. So in this particular anime, this character is an alchemist. And this is in a fictitious world, of course. And he's an alchemist. And he's developed something or created something called the black powder. Now we know it's gunpowder, because in this world they use swords and stuff to fight. And he says that he's been looking for the perfect candidate to gift this to, so that he can see why it wanted to be created for the sake of creation. And so there's this ruthless crown prince who, the way they wrote this boy, he's a sociopath. Let's just be honest, he's a sociopath. He tells his fiance, if you cross me, I will kill you. And he mean it. And he say, I love you. But it's crazy. Anyway, get back. So the alchemist wants to give this crown prince the gunpowder. The fiance does not want the crown prince to get the gunpowder. And so she's trying to do everything she can to keep him. And she finally's like, why are you trying to do this? You're not, a maniacal person. And he said, I'm an alchemist. I'm called to this. This is what I do. And I don't do for the sake of favors or any accolades. I do this because when something that I'm made to do calls to me, I create it. And I was like, synchronicity, anyone? Now, of course, I'm not out here trying to create explosions, but this has been calling to me for a while. And last time we went live, we talked a little bit about purpose, and how purpose, you're constantly or continuously in some type of prerequisite for the next purpose that's coming and all of that. And being able to get to this point where you start not setting yourself up to need validation, not setting yourself up to need success, if you will, but doing it out of, and I don't want to use the word purity, but you doing it out of the compunction of being able to create is something that is going to bode you well. All right. So I wanted to make sure I said that and everything. And I know it might sound like, oh, there's Michelle going deep or whatever. I don't be thinking I'm deep, but whatever it is. So let's lighten it up. And I see I have people in the room. Y'all, what y'all want to know? Y'all got some questions? Let's chat. How about we chat? Like I said, I tried to get my little lighting. I got a little key lighting back there. Let's chat, y'all. What y'all doing? Who in here? Say hey. Let me know who in here. I see Sydney and Miss Callie Coco. We got anybody else in here? Y'all just, looking. And it's okay. And I'm telling you, this is probably the best time to get me because I already ate. So my mind is firing. So if you got some questions or there's something you want to know, now's a good time. But thank y'all for listening to my little musings. Yes. Sydney, what you got, girl? Hey, how you doing? Is it Myra? Coochie guy? Where's Anish? I don't know. Where is our precious Anish? He might be asleep. Oh, goodness. So, like I said before, y'all got any questions? Y'all want to talk about anything? Topics? I just finished the work week and then you went live. What a surprise. Oh, that's wonderful. I hope the work week treated you well or that you made it do what it's supposed to do. That's what I hope. And you know what? I don't know what it is, but it's like when I do these lives, it may I'm not trying to be vain, but I'm like, I know I don't look this hard. And even with my little fancy lighting, I'm like, why I don't have greasy skin. What is going on? So thank y'all for even, looking and everything. But yeah, so any topics y'all want to talk about? Because this is my time to be able to really get some feedback from the people who are so blessed. I mean, blessing me to rock with me and and all of that kind of stuff. And thank you for the people who put paper in the comments. I see you, my brilliant beauties and bows. I see y'all. Okay, it was a productive week. What's the significance of spring equinox? Well, here you go. All righty. Okay, let's talk about solstice and equinoxes. All right. In the very word gives you an idea of what is going on with an equinox. Equal is in the word. And sorry if that's totally off, but I need to know. Yeah, I'm answering it. I'm with you. I'm with you, Sydney. So we have a spring and a fall equinox. Then we have a summer and a winter solstice. So an equinox is twice a year when we have split down the middle 12 hours of sun, 12 hours of night. And it's where there are great resets. With the solstices, if you are an energetic or an energy worker, those are going to be your times because the summer solstice is going to be the longest day of the year where you have way more light than you have dark. So it's like the shortest night. And then the winter solstice is going to be the longest night as opposed to the daylight you get. And so they're constantly working within each other. So you really can't understand the equinoxes without the solstices. So when you get to the spring equinox, that means we are marching closer and closer and closer to the longest day of the year. And if you're looking at that energetically, let's talk really quickly about the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. The Tropic of Cancer is summer. It's summer in the traditional sense, but geographically, in the Western hemisphere, it's summer. If you are in the Northern hemisphere, it's summer. If you're in the Southern hemisphere, it's winter. Okay, but here's the funny part. The Tropic of Cancer is up here in the top part of the hemisphere of the Earth. Yeah, that's three, at least three. Yes, okay, yes. And then the Tropic of Capricorn is winter. Now, get this. Inverno was the word used for the Tropic of Capricorn and winter. And winter is where you have the night. It's where you have cold. It's where you have desolation. It's where, prior to our ability to feed ourselves and sustain ourselves with electricity, refrigeration, ice, and all those types of things, it used to mean hell. That's where you get inferno from. That is why Capricorn is hell, the devil, all of those things that they try to tell you, because it's the longest night. And what happens when it's cold and it's nighttime? It gets even colder, right? Because the sun is not shining, right? Okay. And Sydney, let me know if I'm really answering what you want. Don't let me go off on no tangent. If there's a specific bent you want me to talk about with regards to the equinoxes, you let me know, okay? All right. So, the equinoxes, like I said, are the dividers. Those are the equal days, and you get two of them a year. You get them in the spring and in the fall, because they are the ones that kind of reset to get you ready to go into the solstices. Back in the day, I've already told you about the tropical Cancer and Capricorn. Back in the day, there were there were celebrations. I should say this. And the celebrations for the equinoxes into the solstices were things like the coming of fertility. Some people know it as Easter for the spring one, right? Because everybody was so happy that you finally made it. Hey, Cindy, I did let you know. I sent you a text. Check your text messages. I sent you a message, Miss Mail. Don't come on here fussing at me. But I'm so glad to see you, boo boo. Anyway, the people were so glad to finally have the clenches of hell off of them, aka the winter, that they celebrated. And the spring equinox was where they were ushering in the blessings of the goddess of fertility, the empress, if you will, Mother Nature. If you're in Greek, it could be, I don't think it was Hera. She mean. I'll remember it. But I know like Freya and some of the Nordic traditions and all those kind of things. Now, here's the thing. Easter was not something of a celebration for the sake of just, having fun. Oh, no. Easter was when it was go season for producing. I'm talking about, this is when you would start having the animals who had gotten pregnant. By this time, all of the little babies are starting to be born. That's why you see all the little baby animals when you're thinking about Easter, and all this kind of stuff. And it's symbolic because, like I said, it's even Steven, 12 hours. It is the reset. It is the jump over from now. We have finally broken the clutches, if you will, of hell of winter. And we are now marching toward the summer, where the summer is bountiful. Everybody can be out and all this kind of stuff, right? Okay. Oh, y'all having a conversation. And then you move into May. April showers bring May flowers, and you had the maypole and all of this. And if you notice, the maypole, usually was decorated. It was, all these different ribbons, and the little kids would go around the maypole and make it colorful. And they used children because the children were representing, you guessed it, the fertility and the newness of birth coming into the world. Now, I've told you all of these little, different things, and some of y'all might already know this, and you might be like, "Oh, she just drawing it on." And please stop me. Stop me if I'm, telling you something you already know, because I don't know. But I do want to say this part is that when you use youthful energy, meaning children, and y'all not ready for this, but I'm gonna try to say it in a way that don't get this in trouble with the YouTubes. The maypole is a phallic symbol. So you got little kids decorating a phallic symbol. Are y'all getting this? And you could say that a lot of a lot of people from back then, they were more in tune with the earth. They had a better relationship with it because they depended on it so much. And so they did what they could to work with every aspect that would give them a little advantage, so appease, if you will, the elementals, the spirits, the sprites, all of these things, and do that. Now, when y'all look at these little Easter bunnies and even the baskets and even the eggs, those are the children that are hopefully going to be born into the May to go around the maypole to make sure that they can continue to be prosperous with the pole. Am I making sense? Oh man, I never thought of that. But wow, it makes sense. Yes. But you need to blame it on Cindy. Cindy the one that want to know about spring equinox. And it's all good, Cindy. Okay, so so what symbolized the female organ? The eggs. And during that time, women were not seen as something that you give any shine to. And so anything that quote unquote represented the female in this historical time that we're talking about was all about what she produced that a man or a male had something to do with. You notice it's an egg. Prior to that, we did have the goddess. We did have even the temples, if you will, where the temple priestesses of fertility and the goddesses, if you will, of Diana and all of those, they worshipped them. But the men quickly were like, we're going to shut all this down. You're going to have a bunny. Because actually, and I wasn't going to say it, but it came out. So the bunny, if you will, can symbolize the woman because it is the fertility. Because what do bunnies do? They have a lot of offspring. Okay. Like I said, they gave you a bunny and they gave you some eggs and you better be happy. All right. But for the most part, if for instance, you're like, okay, those dang men, can't the women, the women are shining now. Not back then. The women are shining now. But isn't it funny that even now, and I don't do politics here, but just think about it. What is the thing that men are most concerned about with a woman? It's not her body. It's what she produces, that egg that has been fertilized by them. They care about that egg. So there's nothing new under the sun. Y'all get it? Y'all get it. Okay. But like I said, if you're trying to make use of this spring equinox time, what you're going to find out is that this is a recalibration. So people who are sun children and people who are moon children, you'll quickly know during the equinoxes because your energies will start to let you know because you're straight up and down in the middle. And that's the closest time where you can see what has more power. Now, I will tell you, it's so on the nose for me that it's crazy. I'm a Capricorn, I'm a night owl. And I don't do well in the sun. I mean, really, I don't do well in the sun. My skin just, you would think I'd be able to handle it. I can't. So I definitely know that I am a winter child. And when it's time for this equinox, I know that I gotta zhuzh it up. I gotta give more energy because me going through the summer months and all of that, everybody's la 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 and frolicking. I'm like, it's hot. I don't like this. I am so ready for it to be cold. And those who know me, y'all know. So, but the average person is not going to go through such a big deal. But you'll know which part of the solstice that you derive more energy from. And case in point, I'll say this. The winter solstice is more popular. You would think it would be the summer one. It's the winter one. Now, the summer one, folks would like to go out to Stonehenge and all these other places and see the alignments and all this kind of stuff. And it's nice, because the weather is nice. But baby, that winter solstice, oh, trust me. Are y'all familiar with Saturnalia? Let me know in the comments. You can just do a Y or an N. Are y'all familiar with Saturnalia? What that is? Okay, I'll give y'all time while I'm talking. Saturnalia is from Saturn, the planet. And Saturn, if you were looking at the Greek, Saturn is Saturn. Let me put it this way: Saturn is quote unquote God. Saturn is Jesus's father. Saturn is Chronos. Saturn is time. And because Saturn is let me make sure I get this right. Because let me see here. We've got Venus, Mercury, Mars, Earth, Jupiter, Saturn. Yeah. And then we got Neptune, Uranus, Pluto. Okay, that's right. Whoa, y'all, I'm having to do this off the top of my dome. Anyway, because Saturn sits out the furthest from the six big celestials, Saturn is 6. It is time. It is the number of humanity. It also has these hexagonal shapes on it, on its equators. And it is the one that is lock and step the most with Jupiter, because Jupiter is the big one. And so the story of Zeus overcoming his father Kronos, and Kronos used to eat up the children as the mother would have them. He would eat them and keep them locked in his belly because he did not want anybody usurping him. And when he came for Zeus, Zeus tricked him where he ate a stone instead of Zeus, and Zeus, or Jesus, overcame him. And that's where they had the fight of the Titans and all this kind of stuff, and all of these different things, right? So Saturn being the father and Zeus being the son, Zeus, even though he had beef with his dad, he still gives him props here. And so Saturn has a lot of influence to this day. You don't even realize it, but Saturn is working. So the color of Saturn is black. The day of Saturn is Saturday. And Saturn is about contracts, boundaries, rules. Saturn is what keeps you in check because Saturn is time. So you got all of these people during the the winter solstice. Remember, that's the longest night of the year. And what they would do is they would have, I think it was 10 days. Don't quote me on that, but it was more than 7. it was 10 days or so where each night there would be celebrations, and they call them Saturnalia. And remember, Saturn is the blackness, the darkness. And uh, it would lead up to, now I'm really about to like crush some souls here. But have y'all ever wondered why there are 12 days of Christmas? Why 12? Saturnalia. They needed time before they got up to Christmas, because remember, they paying homage to the dad. And then, Jesus' birth, 25th. And when you look at it, and oh man, I don't know. Should I say it? Okay, I'll say it. In order to have a powerful grouping, you need 13. So the 12 days of Saturn were devoted to the dad, and then the sun crowned it on the 13th day. Now, when you add 1 and 3 together, you get 4. And 4 made the foundations. I've talked about numbers, and 4 is the first foundation where you have stability. And I mean, of course, there's more and more and more of that you can go into, but for the sake of, this live, I'm not going to go into all of that, because it would, I think I'm doing more harm by glossing over a lot of this stuff. But just know that you're doing that. So in the world today, we still have Saturn, if you will. When you go and look at judges, they wear a black robe. That's Saturn. When you graduate from high school, college, master's degree programs, and you wear the black robes, that's Saturn. Anytime you are looking at authority, the priest, the pastors, the workers of the cloth, when they wear the black, that's Saturn. And all these things. You need to do another live about numerology. Well, y'all got to ask me some questions about that, because I don't know what to say off the top of my dome. I'm sorry, there's something back here catching my hair. So there are a lot of things that are happening, whether you realize it or not. Now, truth be told, the people who know, they still practice Saturnalia, because there's a lot of power in it. And I'm not even talking about dark arts or any of that kind of stuff. When you have the quote unquote longest nights of the year, people don't realize, but black, the darkness, is where creation is the strongest. Think about inside the womb. Is it light or is it dark? Inside the pot where the seed is in the dirt, is it light or is it dark? And so there have been propaganda, if you will, to make people fear, the average person, fear the dark, fear, a lot of things that are happening, because those that are great and powerful do not want the masses in on how they stay great and powerful. And so when you understand the flow of things, it makes sense. And another thing too, Saturnalia was always for the elite and the upper class. That's why the masses either didn't know about it, or it was kind of like Fight Club. What's the rule of Fight Club? There is no Fight Club. Those kinds of things. And trust me, Saturnalia was not about, some weird craziness of sacrificing and all that kind of stuff. No, they were there to be jovial. They were there because they understood the subtle energy of when you put a lot of people together and they all agree to have merriment, they all agree to have fun. It raised the subtle energy of their area, And I was like, have people not wondered, why did the quote unquote royal courts of the old, why was the biggest thing for them having parties? It's because they understood this. And most of them happened during the winter, the longer nights. All right. So I hope that made sense. Any more questions? Y'all got any topics y'all want me to talk about or anything? Like I said, I'm just so glad to be on here, and I'm still trying to get used to doing these lives, and I haven't found my footing yet, because it's almost like, should I not prepare something? Should I just, you know, talk with y'all? But y'all ain't saying nothing today. Come on, let me know you're here. Give me something. Press an emoji or something. Let me know y'all in the room, and I am not just talking to the void. Because if I am, I'm done with what I prepare. Because like I said, I didn't want to be drawn on and on. Because hey, you can get that when you watch the chat. Oh, I know what I was gonna ask y'all too. What did y'all watch the video where I talked about the dark triad? Let me know. That makes so much sense. Thanks. But I agree with Cindy. We want more on them. Well, you want more, but what do you want? You got to ask me something. What do you want on numerology? You got to ask me. But did y'all watch about the dark triad? Y'all, they are real. Do y'all even know what I'm talking about? That's deep. That gets into energy harvesting, which is very interesting, but not a combo for most. That is true. That's why I was like, I can't say a lot, but I will say, and I'll say this again too, that most of the times people try to go dark on this, and there are people who work for the good. It's not all bad. There are people who work for the good who have this arcane knowledge. Even when you use the word occult, people be like, ah! And I don't even realize that occult just simply means rare or hidden for good purpose, because Joe Q Public don't know how to handle it, that kind of thing. All right, let's see here. Oh yeah, that was a good video. It described my last boss, the VP of operations. Miss Kelly Coco, I put this out because of the very fact that it's more and more dark triads who are getting promoted, who are becoming the people who get rewarded in society. And folks are wondering why they can't survive, why they can't make it. Because if they single you out, you might as well just go on and go, unless you are one too. And then it's going to be hell, because it's going to be an explosion between you all. And most folks don't realize that. Now this is documented. At the time, they were calling them high level narcissist. But get this, y'all. And these numbers are at least a decade old, so I don't really like saying them. But at the time, this is what was said: high performing narcissist are politicians. High-performing sociopaths are upper-level management. Because think about it. Yeah. So, yeah. Folks don't realize, if you are there trying to continue to keep a company, an entity that's made up of people, but must behave like it's not made up of people, you would do well to have a sociopath who has a lack of empathy, who can cut you 3 days before Christmas and say, you ain't got no job. Bye. Get to stepping, and be like, don't let the door hit you. Because they are there to service. If it's a public company, they're there to service the shareholders. If it's a privately held company, they are still there to service the private equity groups, the investors, and the owners. And so if you are Joe Q Public, you're not going to last long. At most, you will make it to middle management, and then they will keep you down, because you're not willing and able to do what it takes to be in those higher level positions. And if you have, and I look at a lot of founders, and they're now starting to get the message. Now, founders, the way they're looking at founders now, founders are they are entrepreneurs who come up with a good idea, and they are very proficient or have a gift for forming the company, getting it kickstarted, getting it going, assembling the initial team to do it. And once they get it up to a certain level, and when I get into the money series, I'm going to be talking about the different levels of what happens if you're a solopreneur or entrepreneur, or how to make the flip over to a company and why you should and should not. But that's down the road. But I will say this part, that you you will definitely know if you have a narcissist or a sociopath, because a narcissist is an excellent leader because they have vision and it's all about them. A psychopath is an excellent manager because they are able to drive the vision of the leader. Now, they can be one and the same, especially if they're dark triad, and that's why I'm bringing it up. That's why a lot of dark triad folk tend to be in these positions, and they don't care about you. They don't care about you. Let's see. I refuse to sell myself. Yeah, and that's the thing. When you're dealing with these folk, it will get to the point where you'll feel it like, I am not dealing with a normal, quote unquote, normal person. Because yeah, when they stop trying to flatter you, con you, charm you and all this kind of stuff, when you really get to see the real them, you be like, get away from me. That kind of stuff. Right? And I still hold to the fact that I believe a lot of these folks that folks are labeling narcissists are dark triad. I mean, because like I said, a dark triad will make a narcissist cry. They will make a narcissist go hide in the corner and be like, leave me alone. Because they are not nice, right? All right. So, all right. I have not seen anything. Let me check and see. I've not seen anything about what you want me to talk about with numerology. What do you want me to what do you want me to talk about? Just put something in there and I'll talk a little bit about it. Um and that, let me know. Yes, indeed. So thank you. Thank you, Kelly Coco, Miss Kelly Coco, for watching Dark Triad. Because I put a lot of work in that to make sure that I didn't, put anything out that was harmful, but I want to make sure I put that warning out there because I see more and more of them who are the ones who are rising to the top in all industries, all of them, and like I said, they are very good actors. They will make you think they are one way, and lo and behold, you see all the stuff they're doing behind the scenes. I mean, they can get people to fight for them to the point where people forget what they were fighting for, and now it's all about they did them wrong, and we gonna make them do right. But they were hired to do something else. Why are you so worried about them? And if you just think about something recently that happened where this very thing came out, OpenAI, and you see that when you finally realize it, they painted the board as being crazy, but come to find out, they were buying high expensive, allegedly. Well, no, it ain't alleged. They got records. They were buying all of these different homes. They were doing whisper campaigns to get folk out. There was a lot going on. A lot going on to the point where it looked like messy queendom. It really did. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But let me stop talking about that because I wasn't there. I was just observing. And I'm not labeling anybody. I'm just saying if it smells like it is, if it quacks like it is, oh well. All right. So, but anyway, what I kind of want you guys to do, and and I'm very grateful that you guys are sticking with me. What I want you guys to do is I want you to start getting in the habit of mind prepping. What significance and symbolism of recurring numbers in my life? Okay. There is a website. I mean, a lot of people go to this website. It's okay. But it's Joanne Angel Numbers. I want to say, let me check over here. It's Joanne Angel Numbers. And that gives you a basic, understanding of recurring numbers. Joanne, let me see, Angel, and y'all, I'm typing on my PC. Angel Numbers. Let's see. Like I keep seeing 1111, 333, and waking up at 3 a.m. It's called Sacred Scribe Angel Numbers. Sacred Scribe Angel Numbers. Joanne Angel Numbers will give you it's Joanne's Sacred Scribes. Joanne Sacred Scribes. And she has all the numbers on that blog, and they're really good. All right, so Cindy said she wanted to know specifically about 1111, 333, waking up at 3 a.m., those types of things. So if you see recurring numbers, first and foremost, go back to understanding how you were taught the numbers. You know, there is ordinal power. Ordinal is a fancy word for the order of things, right? And so you have a 1 before 2, 2 before 3, and so on from 1 through 9. And I've already broken down that the beginning of something, Joanne's Sacred Scribes Angel Numbers, that the beginning, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So the beginning numbers are 1, 2, and 3. The middle numbers are 4, 5, and 6. The ending numbers are 7, 8, and 9. And I talked about this in the video where it had the numbers will show you the way. So with beginning numbers, a lot of people see 11, 11. They see 1, 1, 1, all of those types of things. When you're seeing those numbers, that's called the initiation. That is to let you know that there is a power for you to do something. It's usually something, it's usually, and I don't want to say it's good or bad. I'm just simply saying because it's individual. So if you keep seeing 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, it might be that it's telling you whatever you're doing has come to an end. Stop it. It is time for you to move forward. 11, 11, 11 is actually 4. 11, 11 is kind of like letting you know you are stable, you are well, you are fine. Now, it could have just said 4, but would you have really paid attention if you just saw 4 here and there, right? You know what? I'm going to give you a number right now in the wild so you can see what I'm talking about, okay? Beyonce has Cowboy Carter coming out at the time of this recording. It's coming out March 29th, 2024, okay? March 29th, 2024. And this is to show you that the higher you go in your power and your understanding in this realm, you must learn numbers and use them for your benefit. Okay. Now, who in the chat knows the number that Beyonce is all about? What is her? I don't even know if it's her favorite number, but what is her number? Can y'all just put it in there for me? Because this is going to be relevant. And y'all might be like, I don't follow Beyonce. I don't follow her that much, but I know when it comes to numbers. Her husband, 4. Thank you. Okay. Now, I want to show you how powerful March 29th, 2024 is, and how she has baked in multiple angles to make sure that this project goes well for her. Okay. March is what? The 3rd month. That's a 3. Okay. Y'all stay with me. I'm going to help you with this. Okay. So March is a 3. Okay. 29th. Most people love the 29th because you know what the 29th is? 29th is an 11. And when you have a 1 and a 1, you are doubling the power. And a 1 is, I should have said this earlier. I don't want to seem like I'm flip-flopping, but a 1 is a masculine energy. And remember how I talked about that maypole? It's the same thing. A 1 is a phallic symbol. It is the shooting semen, if you will. It is the projectile. It is the flying arrow that starts the war. It is very assertive. So when you get a 1 and a 1 or an 11, it is both a divine number, but it is also a multiplicable number, because now unless you are Terrence Howard, 1 plus 1 equals 2. And I know what Terrence is saying. I totally get it, because 1 and 1 masculine is never going to produce a 2 because they're not feminine. But for the sake of how things work right now, 1 and 1 is a 2. Okay. So you got March, which is a 3. You've got 29. We're just going to leave it at 29. Okay. And if somebody got a calculator, get your calculator out because I'm about to show you some stuff. Okay. So 2024 is an 8. Okay. So the way we're going to do this, I'm going to show you. You take 3, which is March. You take 2 and 9. You're going to add 3 plus 2 plus 9. Y'all staying with me? Okay. That should get you to 14. Am I right? Okay. Then 2024. Well, look at you, Miss Smarty. You definitely got it. 2024 is an 8. So when you add 14 and 8, you get a 22. If you add 2 and 2 together, that's a 4. So that's Beyonce's number. Now, as I said before, 4 is a number of stability. It is what? The first foundation. Anything you do, if you don't have a foundation, it's going to be volatile. You want that foundation. But let me show you more of this. Remember 29? If you add 2 plus 9, what is that? That's an 8. That's an 11, right? Okay. There are master numbers. Those numbers are 11 and 22. For some people, they also include 33. If you look at how she set this up, she's got a 3 for March. March 3 is the number of creation. It is the number of communication. It is the number of luck. 3. Okay. Then she's got the first master number. 29 is an 11. All right. So she's got luck for the 3 of March. She's got an 11, which was the 29th. And then she's got a 22. And then they all add up to a 4. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying when I am talking about when you know your numbers? It is almost like shooting fish in a barrel because you are working with the energies and you're getting the energies to work for you so that, yeah, she goes hard and she does her work, but she also does everything she can to make sure that the energy of our world, because our world, the numbers are the language of God. And so she works with them, not against them. Does that make sense? Do you need me to repeat that? So I'm showing you that. Now, when you're seeing 11, 11 over and over and over again, and you're seeing 3, are you now starting to understand that they're showing you, we're giving you a 4 foundation. We're giving you 22. When you do 11 and 11, that's 22. And in case you didn't get it, we're giving you an 11. So we're giving you master numbers. We're giving you numbers of luck, communication. And so they are telling you, you've got a better chance right now of moving forward. So that's why when people see 11:11, they get excited because that's the universe telling you this script that you're running, it's time for you to move it forward. Okay. Oh my God, I'm making sure all numbers on contracts, etc., are in my favor. Yep. That's why 28, 2 and 8. 2 is a multiplier. 8 is a number of power and wealth. When you add them together, there are 1 that gives you that piercing power. That's why the number 28 is so powerful and why the rich make sure that they do contracts. They start new things on the 28th. Y'all already know I'm doing a live on the 28th. I did a live. If you go back and you look, I did another live on what? The 28th. I sure did. First live was on 28th. Is this helping y'all? Is this making sense? Y'all got any more? My wedding date is 10/22. Okay, let's do the numbers so you can make sure. So you got a 10, which is a 1, because the zeros don't matter. Then you got 2 plus 2. And then you got an 8. So when you add those up, those come up to 13. Now let me tell you something. And congratulations on your upcoming nuptials. Um, remember how I told you the powerful and the great, they want to hide a lot of this stuff. What what do they say is the most unlucky number? Put it in the chat. Thank you, Sydney. I couldn't have done it without y'all. Oh, that's funny. What do they say is the most unlucky number? Put it in chat so I can see that y'all still rocking with me. Hello? What's the most unlucky number? And you know what? Just put in the most lucky number too. 13. Uh-huh. And then what's the most lucky number that they say? I'm going to show you something. Okay. So, yeah, 13. 13 is lucky. Yes, 13 is the lucky number. What's the one that they say is the most lucky? 7. You're right. Okay. Now get this, y'all. Ooh, 7 is a number of spiritual test. You see it in the Bible. You see it in our weekdays. You see it in all of these different iterations of 7s. 7 is a odd number, which makes it masculine, and it is the number after the number of harmony, and it is the beginning number of the end. And so once you leave, remember I said 1, 2, 3 are the beginning, 4, 5, 6 are the middle, 7, 8, 9 are the ending. 7 is like getting ready for the midterms of what you learn, because the final is coming very soon. So 7, oh snap, the most high is good. I'll take the 13. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you why 13 is so powerful. Okay, so, and I already did, if you can remember when we were talking about Saturnalia, Zeus, and the Father, and the 12 days, and all of that. But anyway, so let's do the numbers. So you already know that 7 is the first number of the end. And the end is always about closing loose ends. It's about reviewing so that you've gotten the lesson of that 9-point cycle. It is about advancing to get you ready for the next thing. So it's the last push. So 7 is a number of I hate to say it, sometimes struggle. Yeah. Now people say, that 7 is a number of divineness, and that is where we get spiritual tests from. So usually people can say, if I'm in my 7th year of a 7 years of the 9-year cycle, then that's where my soul, spirit, and beliefs and morals and all of that kind of stuff are going to be tested. For some people, 7 is just really where you lose something, and then you use that 7 energy to pass the test so that you can get into the 8 energy, which is power, speed, fast, it's wealth, so that by the time you get to 9, you're in the quote unquote sitting pretty, so that you can get ready to, you guessed it, start it all over again with a new level, new devil, with that next number 1. Okay, so 13. Why is 13 actually the good number? Well, 13 is the quote unquote good number because it is the hidden number. I'm not an astrology person. I know a little bit to be dangerous, but I will say that when you take the days of our year and you divide them by 13 instead of 12, you get a clean 28 days per month. Now you might be like, well, Michelle, why? Okay, like do it like 13, 365 divided by 13. And it gives you, like I said, 28. And I said clean, but you still kind of would have to have a little of a leap year, because, this wobbling ball keeps spinning off a few degrees every year. So we eventually. But when you look at the 4-week cycle, and even women's bodies tell you that is the better cycle, by how we menstruate and all of that, that means that you would have 13 months instead of 12. If you look at Ophiuchus, that is the 13th zodiac sign. Yes. that they obscured because Julius wanted everything to be, the Julian calendar and all of that. So it's a hidden number. But you have, look at the number itself. You have a 1 and a 3. So when you have a 1, that's that Pearson energy. When you have 3, that's the creative energy. That is the energy uh, of creation, of luck, of communication. And you put a piercing 1 energy, which is the initiant. It is movement. It is momentum. And you put it with 3 of luck. Do you see how powerful 13 is? Well, if it wasn't even that, add 1 and 3 together. And what is 1 and 3? 1 and 3 is 4. 4 is what? The first foundation. Where 1 is the first ace, 4 is the first foundation, 5 is the second ace. And I hope I'm not giving y'all too much, but I'm just trying to make sure. Oh my God, I just realized I mistyped. I'm not a 13. I got married in 22 on my part. I was trying, but no. If you, okay, well, let's do that. Let's see here. 10 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. That's an 11. You're still good. You're actually in a master number. So you're still good. You're fine, Miss Kelly Coco. So even if you are 11, that's still really good. A lot of numerologists try to get people to not have a 7, a 7 or a 9 in their wedding numbers. Yeah. I was saying that. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you're still at 11. That's totally fine. Because what is 1 and 1? 1 is 2 multiplying, and that's a master number. Yeah, it's still really good. I was just showing that how they want us to avoid the true numbers. Vegas makes a lot of money off of you believing in 7s being lucky. And I will tell you, the only way you can get to a lucky number when you're dealing with a 7 is the 3rd one. So have you ever noticed? I got married on weird. I am dead. Oh my God, you 7/7/2001. And you said we are divorced. Oh my God, that is too funny. But yeah, the numbers. So if you have 3 7s, that is why when you go to the casinos, they will put in the middle that you get the big jackpot if you get the 3 7s. Now, why is 3 7s good, but 1 7 or 2 7s ain't that good? It's because if you look at 1 7, I told you that's spiritual test. If you look at 2 7s, that 7 and 7 is 14. 14 is 1 plus 4, that's 5. 5 is the number of constant change, conflict, critique, inner competition. 5 is not a happy number. It is constantly on change. So when you have those 1 7 or 2 7s, it's gonna be a problem. But when you do 3 7s, what's 3 7s? That's a 21. 2 plus 1 is a 3. 3 is what? Luck. So that's why blackjack is 21. That's why 777 is luck. Now, are you seeing it? Now can you realize that they know what they're talking about? They hope you don't ever find out about what the numbers mean. But the people who make the money, they study and know numerology because it is the language of this world. You know what? Next time, you can call me next time. We can work on an auspicious date for you next time, Sydney. Okay, we can do that. All right. But and don't just look at your number at a date. You want to know where you are in your cycle. You can Google personal year and day numbers, and you will find free tools that you just put your date in, and they'll spit them out for you. And they'll let you know what every single day's energy is for you specifically. So it's not a big deal. So I need to buy 3 of the number 7 scratch out tickets. I guess so, baby. If you are trying to get you some luck, you got to buy 3. I didn't know 3 was luck. I thought it was family. That's in 6 is family. 6 is family. 3 is child. So when you're looking at it, like the Pythagorean theorem, the way it was taught in ancient Africa, Kemet, Mali, Tibet, Timbuktu, uh, they taught that 1 plus 2 is 3. So 1 is the man, 2 is the woman, and 3 are the offspring they produce. So you are possibly thinking of it as family, but it's child. When you take 3 and 3, that's 6. That's where you get family, because 6 is the number of humanity. Remember, they said the number of man is 666, right? Well, if you break down 666, that's 18. 8 plus 1 is 9. That's completion. And so they were simply saying that that's the highest creation. It's done. What they say when the creator created and they created humans, what do they say? It's done. So that's another reason why I want y'all to stop believing this craziness about these numbers. 666 is not demonic. It is simply saying that we're showing you that the family, 3 family, 3, 3, 3. Remember, 3 is luck. 6, 6, 6, 6 equals 18 equals 9. If you want to even go further, what did Nikola Tesla say? He said, if you would understand anything about the universe, you would understand 3, 6, and 9, right? 3 is energy. 6 is frequency. I have them backwards. 3 is frequency. 6 is vibration. And 9 is energy. Yeah, because they build up to, or they, wait a minute, slow down, Michelle. Slow down, you're about to mess up. Okay, here we go. 3 is energy. I had it right first. 3 is energy. 6 is vibration. And 9 is frequency. Yeah, because it takes energy to create vibration. Once you can vibrate on a certain level, then you find the frequency and then you unlock more energy. So yeah, 3, 6, 9. Okay, yeah. But yes, 6 is family. I hope this is helping y'all. You are very wise and knowledgeable. You know what? Thank you. I'll take that. What I'll say is, I love, when I tell you I love wisdom, oh my God, my friends, y'all, you know what? Y'all are giving my friends a break, because before I did YouTube, and there's a few of them in the room right now, before I did YouTube, they were so precious. They would just listen to me talk on and on and on. And I'd be like, hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? And they loved me so much that they would just listen to me drone on and on. It's I see you. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so I would just drone on and on. And they love me so much. Remember, I told y'all, if you watch the video about the 5 types of friends you need in your life, and how I told y'all I have managed where my friends inhabit all of those 5, and I'm so grateful. But they are so precious. I mean, they are long suffering, honey. When it comes to love, I know I am loved well by my friends. So thank you for that. But my friends will be like, it's all the time. We have to listen to this all the time. And so now me being able to get on YouTube and stuff and share with y'all is giving them a break. And I am finally not hiding in the corner, but doing what I'm supposed to do, and share the little bit that I'm able to share in the best way I possibly can to help you. So I appreciate that. All right. Any other questions? I mean, so now y'all understand about the 7, the 13, the 6, the 3, 6, 9. Hopefully you are getting intrigued to do your numbers. So when you see recurring numbers, look at them. What part of the cycle they're in? Are they in the beginning, the middle, the end? There are some times where you're going to just see 4, 4, 4 all the time. Do you know what that means? That means it's time to start. It's kind of like giving, a symbol to a squirrel to become resourceful and start saving up for the winter, because winter is coming. You know, a lot of times people think winter is at the end. Winter is in the middle, baby. That's hell. Because after 4, 5 is marching in. And what is 5? 5 is change. It is conflict. It just don't feel good to be in 5 energy. And um 4 sets you up so that you can make it through 5. Now, I didn't say this part, Miss Calicoco, but 6 is home harvest as well. So it is about harvesting because the seeds that you planted and did in 4, you had to work through and kind of struggle through through 5. But by the time you make it into 6, you are harvesting what you did at 4. Okay. So, and I might do Cindy, help me to get together, get a workshop together. Kim, you and Cindy, y'all help me with that, would you? So I can get this together and do a numerology for everyday living. I don't want to make it woo woo, but I want people to actually be able to know how to apply this, where you don't have to know a lot, but if you know the basics, would y'all help me with that? I mean, I can ask you offline. I don't want to put you on the spot, but that would be great. So anyway. But y'all, okay, so we've been talking. I'm gonna say, anybody got any last things, topics, questions, or anything like that before we say goodbye? And I really appreciate y'all. And yeah, I miss Anish too. But honey, Anish knew. He's like, let me get my questions asked, and I answered them. So, do y'all have any oracle questions, things like that? That's awesome. Thank you for this Friday night chat. Good night, y'all. Good night, Sydney. That would be amazing. Numerology for everyday life. Yeah. Okay. So I'll do something like that. Be on the lookout for it and everything. So if all hearts and minds are clear, I am going to say goodbye. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, I appreciate y'all for being here, and I know I'm gonna most likely go live on the 28th. If I knew it, you know what? I'm a vacillate between the 28th and the 29th because this particular 29 day is really powerful. Yes, Anisha socializing. Now that y'all know why Beyonce picked March 29th to release this album, because I figured she said, I'm gonna need all the help I can going into a new genre. And so, y'all, we broke down the numbers so that you can see how powerful March 29th is. So somewhere between 28th and 29th, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. All right. So thank you all. Oh, it's another thing before I go. I am thinking about moving to 5 days a week. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 5 days a week to give people time to catch up on some of the stuff. And yeah, I'm thinking about that. So it would be Monday through Friday for right now, because I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be twice a week, but I'm thinking about that for right now, or something, because like I said before, I did do an inventory of some of the main topics I wanted to cover, and get them out, and I think I've done that, and yeah, so I might be moving to that. Y'all have any insights on that or whatever? It's almost like I wish I could pause the live and just get y'all to give me a poll or something, but it's a whatever, because I do have some people to be like, I watch you every morning, but boy, it's every day. And I get that. Yes, I'm way behind on watching your videos. Okay. All right. Yeah, that would be great, because I want to go with the natural flow now that we have people watching, and I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed. That is not the purpose, So, yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I am going to see you sooner than later. This is Michelle. You know it, your big sis with Brilliant Quest. Thank you to my brilliant beauties and bows. Know that big sis loves you. I will see you soon. Bye.